Hey everybody, welcome back. It is time for week two in ENC 2210. It's been great getting to know everybody over on the discussion board this week and looking forward to your next assignment, which is a fun one for me to read because you get to share things that you're interested in. So let's take a look at what's happening in week two. All right. So as I will almost always start these, we'll kind of scroll down and look at the schedule. The assignment this week is the experience and interest inventory, and it is one of well, to be fair, many of our assignments, which are going to be presented in report form. So rather than writing papers this semester, we are writing more report style documents. This will be the first one. So this is going to get us used to some of the basics of APA format and documentation. We are going to use APA for our style as well as any documenting any sources in this particular class because most of the writing that we're doing is not about literary works like we do in regular English classes, but we are writing about all kinds of topics, and APA is the most appropriate version of how to handle that. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and look at Module 2. This week, your learning materials include a lot of information about APA. So we've got the textbook reading, which is you're going to be really technical writing from pages 10 to 19. There's a mini lesson on setting up APA documents in Word, so I'm not going to show you that during this because I've already created that. I will also mention that, of course, if you do not have Word on your computer, you are able to access it for free as a student. So you do need to follow the directions by clicking on Office 365 over here in the left-hand corner or left-hand column, but that will lead you through it. Now, you are welcome to use Google Docs if you prefer. A lot of people do. I use Google Docs now a lot in my day job, more so than I have ever used something like Google Docs before. Um, but it operates a little bit differently. So if you need any help getting it set up, that's fine, but let me know. I do ask if you are using a different program, whether it's Google Docs or if you're on a Mac, if you're using Pages, you do need to save your work in Word format, and that can be done no matter what program you're using. So keep that in mind. Some people will save it as a PDF. I don't mind if you save it as a PDF, but the only thing about PDFs is I cannot mark up that document. So I prefer that you save it in Word format. Anyway, we've got some information on the library and where to find information on APA. We've got a lesson on documenting sources. And while this was not originally created for this particular class or even like Sumter State College, this has some really good background about documentation. So I do want you to take a look at that. We have the APA documentation section in the Citation Center, so you'll breeze through that as well. And then, of course, you're currently watching the video. Then we have the assignment. So let's go to the assignment, which is the experience and interest inventory. In ENC 2210, we will be focusing on writing for both technical and professional purposes. Part of getting prepared for that is to put some thought into where you've been and where you're going. So in this report, you will share your past, present, and future in terms of education, work, and other interests. You are going to have a cover page. This is going to be an APA document. So you're going to have a cover page. You're going to have the work itself, and then you're going to have a references page showing anything that you use to get photos, visuals, or other information. There is some research required for this, so you will for sure have some references. If you include photos, which I highly encourage you to do, you will maybe want to include those. You'll need to include those as well. Now, What I really want you to do for this is to start utilizing the tools in Microsoft Word that will help you with headings, subheadings, visuals, things of that nature. Because it is a report and not a paper, you may single space everything, but have extra spaces in between elements. That's pretty common in a report style thing. The report should cover all of the following and should be arranged in this order. So you will have headings of past, present, and future. In the past and the present section, you will have a minimum of two headings. So they would be subheadings: educational history and work history. And then if you have any volunteer or non-paid positions that you want to talk about, some people don't have any previous job history. So you will want to include things that you have done, even if they are unpaid, that showcase your skills. It could be that you've been involved in sports in school. It could be that you've been involved in youth groups in your church or things of that nature. It can be anything, anything that's going to showcase your skills. Okay. Um, so you might have three headings, subheadings: educational, work, and volunteer or non-paid positions. Same thing with present. Educational present is going to be Lake Sumter. Now, for some of you, you are also dual enrolled, so some of your education present may also be high school, which is fine. Anything that you are currently doing is part of your educational present. And I want you to think of this like you are preparing a resume. Now, this is going to have a lot more stuff in it than a resume will. We're going to get to resumes at the end of the semester. I want you to record everything that's going to help you kind of keep track of what you have done, what classes you've taken, areas of emphasis, maybe even your GPA. If you're involved in any organizations, whether it's here or at your high school, if you're still dual enrolled. If you have graduated high school, that goes in educational history. But if you are currently dual enrolled, you might want to include both of them in the present. Include what degree or certificate you are pursuing and when you expect to finish. So, work present, same thing. And I know a lot of people do not have a job while they're going to school. I was lucky enough to be that way for part of my college career, and it was great. So, if you don't have it, that's fine. You may want to just include that information. Work present, I am not currently working. Like you can report that. Now, if we're doing a resume, you're not going to say on your resume, I don't have a job. But for this purpose, you want to outline what's happening with your past, present, and then future. So for the future section, this is where research is required. There's two things you should be researching. Number one is if you plan on pursuing formal education beyond Lake Sumter, you need to research and give details on possible places you could pursue these goals. Now, for a lot of you, you already know where you want to go. Many of you are going to transfer to UCF. Many of you want to go to UF, etc. We have people who've already picked where they want to go to school, but I want you to research more than one place. Um, Trust me, it's a good idea. Now, if you're not going to pursue further education, you can use this section to think about what you can do to further yourself in your profession. So, are there organizations you could join? Are there journals or trade publications you could read? You can still do research, even if it's not on schools. Okay, so that's one section: formal education. The next, or professional development. The next section of the future is going to focus on potential employers. Now, I want you to think of this long term. So let's say that you are already know that you're going to go to dental school. We've got at least one person who I know has said that. So let's say you know you're going to go to dental school. I want you to research places that you could work as a dentist. So this may be something that you are nowhere near qualified for. That is okay. But research potential employers for which you might like to work. So this may or may not involve running your own business. And if so, of course, if you do want to do it that way, write about what you would do. You can do research on how to start a business, for example, and things of that nature. But both of these sections in the future require research. So include that. Include locations, requirements, benefits, any information that you can find on those potential employers. And then there is one final section on other interests. Showcase hobbies and interests, particularly those you might want to learn more about. Include the following for each: an overview, what experience you already have, if you do have any, and goals and plans for future participation. I want you to have at least one or two things that you're thinking about getting interested in. And I just put my own hand up. I did not mean to do that. Um, let's put my hand down. Nope, didn't work. Okay, well, we're just going to keep the hand up then. That's fine. I'm just going to pretend my hand isn't there. I'm also going to do this one because I have a friend at work who gets really jealous that on my Mac I can make hearts appear. It takes very little to make some people happy, and that's okay. All right. So once you have completed this, you'll turn it in this week. And then once you've completed it, you're going to have an opportunity after you get a grade back on it to revise it some more. Okay. So keep that in mind with these. I want you to do your best. I want you to give it your all, but you also will have a chance to revise it afterwards if you so desire. Okay. Once you have completed the document, you will click on Start Assignment. You will need to choose a photo to upload and you will include that. And then you'll hit Enter or hit Post or whatever it says. So I'm not going to actually do that because I don't need to turn something in. There we go. So then you'll click on Submit Assignment. Okay, that's it. I believe I do have a sample document and I'm going to share that in the announcement along with the video. So if you have any questions about it, don't forget the Q&A discussion board will benefit the whole class. But if you have a private question, you are also, of course, always welcome to send me a message in Canvas inbox and get a private response. So everybody have a great week too, and I will see you back here in week 3, whatever that is. The next one. It's a good one. All right, take care, everybody.